Now that we have visual tests, we can refactor our code easily. For example, we have a test that wins the game and checks if this useSolved overlay is visible. We mount the component, we stop the board, we play a single move, and then we check that overlay text appears. That means the DOM has been updated, and then we check the image snapshot. This is the image that we get, and we compare it with previously saved snapshot. As you can see, it matches what we see perfectly. Here's the part of the game that shows the overlay, depending on overlay flag. You see it's kind of messy, so let's refactor it. We're going to put it in overlay component folder. We'll say import React from React, and we're going to export overlay. Now we need a couple properties, so we need overlay and the onClick overlay handler. But the rest is just returning this JSX element, right? So we're gonna save it and we're gonna import it right here. So we'll say import from components overlay, and we'll create it right here by just saying overlay, and we have to pass the overlay flag and on click overlay right here. Now the test should refresh. Perfect. We moved some code around, but the result looks the same. Now we will actually check the visual result during pull requests or by running this test in a Docker container, because by default we are skipping the snapshot. But at least we know the classes are there. We can see it right now ourselves, and the detailed, pixel by pixel comparison can be done during pull request on our CI. Now that we've done with refactoring, we can actually maybe extend the test. For example, what happens when you click on overlay? It actually starts a new game. You can see that it calls the method to initialize the board, and we can see the board comes out again. So we can extend our test. For example, we can say get overlay, click, and it should no longer be visible. Should not be visible. So this way we'll test that once you win the game, you click on overlay and it disappears. But let's also confirm that it calls get unique Sudoku. That means the new board is created. So for this, I'll just add an alias new board. So when we are right here, before we click, we can get that alias, and it should have been called once, right? Because that's when the new game is created right here. And once we click on overlay and it disappears, now it should have been called again. So we'll check that it actually creates a new board when you click. Perfect. We can see that it's actually called, and it's called twice. That means overlay is working and the user can start a new game when it clicks. One other detail. So here's a pull request, right? When it runs, all the screenshots are created and compared one by one. So we know that overlay looks exactly as before. That means our refactoring is correct.